Which line is it? Like 12 lines from the top, first word Zo. Haravi Bakodesh Pasul. So we say in the Mishnah, the fourth level of the Tuma makes the Kodesh Pasul. The third level makes the Teruma Pasul. Okay? Tanya, Amar Rabbi Yosef, Minayin Lerevi'i Bakodesh Pasul. We lay the brighter that Rabbi Yosef said, how do we know the Revi'i, the fourth level of the Tuma, makes the Kodesh Pasul? How do we know? Vedinhu is basically the Kal Vachomer. We make the Kal Vachomer over here, the way we do it, basically, how we measure it, Uma Mechusar Kippurim, Shemutar Bateruma, Pasul Bakodesh, Shelishi Pasul Bateruma, Eino Din Sheaser Revi Lakodesh. Now we're gonna say how we're gonna work. We're gonna make a Kal Vachomer. What is Kal Vachomer? We say, let's say, if it's like this by this, so much so is going to be by the other one. For example, what we have over here, Mechusar Kippurim. What is Mechusar Kippurim? No, Mechusar Kippurim means somebody who went to mikveh and the day also finished after sunset, but he still needs to bring a korban. Mechusar, he's missing Kippurim. Kippurim is the korban. Okay? Such a person, he didn't bring a korban yet, is allowed to have teruma. Okay? But he cannot have kodesh. What is kodesh? He cannot have a korban. Okay? So that's one. Now, shelishi, what is shelishi? Shelishi letuma, the third level of the tuma, which is more chamur, higher level than mechusar kippurim, than missing the korban, shepasul bateruma. We know it makes the teruma pasul. So therefore, we're gonna make a kal vachomer. Is not gonna be the case that Revi'i is gonna make the kodesh pasul. So very, very hard kal vachomer. No, let's see what we have to understand the kal vachomer. We have to understand what's going on over here. We're not trying to finish it, only just finish it. We're trying to understand what's going on over here. Shelishi, the third level of Tuma, makes the teruma pasul, right? How do we know that Revi make it pasul? They're saying like this. Because that over here we're saying, we learned from the part before, someone mechusar kippurim, he could have teruma, but he cannot have kodesh. So the kodesh has higher level of the kedusha. So we understand over here, if the teruma, basically, it comes pasul by shelishi, so kodesh cannot be the same level. Kodesh should be higher level, should be more kadosh, which means the Revi'i makes the kodesh pasul. That's what he's saying. One extra level, exactly. That's what he's saying over here. That's what he's saying over here. Good? Of course. That's how it goes less and less. We have Av Atuma, Av Rishon, Sheni, Shelishi, Revi'i. Okay? It goes down. Because the Kedusha of the Kodesh is higher, so even the lower Tuma still possess. Right. So from the Mechusar Kippurim, we see that the Kodesh is a higher level, which means somebody didn't bring a korban yet, he could have teruma, but he can have Kodesh. So we learn from there that basically something is Kodesh is a higher level when it comes to the Kedusha. So it says over here, Rabbi Yossi, Velamadnu, so we learn from here, or basically, it doesn't say. So we learned shelishi lakodesh min haTorah verevi'i bekal v'chomer. You know, from the Torah, shelishi is basically from the Torah. It doesn't say from where in the Torah. From the Torah, we know the third level of the Tumah makes the Kodesh Tameh. And how do we know the Revi makes it Tameh? The fourth level of the Kal V'chomer we just mentioned. That's what we're saying over here. Now, again, I want to ask a question. You telling me the Shelishi is from the Torah. So how do we know Shelishi la Kodesh min Torah minai? How do we know from the Torah that the Shelishi, it makes it basically Tameh? דכתיב והבשר אשר ייגע בכל טמא לא יאכל. The pasuk says in the Vayikra, the basar asher ייגע בכל טמא לא יאכל. The translation of the pasuk is, if you have a basar, you have a meat that touched something tameh, you cannot eat it. Should not be eaten. Okay? What's the case over there? We're talking about korban shelamim. The korban shelamim, the bed in Beit HaMikdash, it became tameh. Okay, asur ba'achila, you cannot eat it. From here, we learn that the tum'at, the level of the shelishi, if you have impurity, the third level, is going to make the kodesh pasul. Gemara says, milo askinan, isn't that the case over here? We are dealing with the naga besheni, who says shelishi? Maybe he's touched the sheni. Okay, because the Torah also comes some sheni comes tameh. Bekama rachmana lo ya'achel. The pasuk says lo ya'achel. You're not allowed to eat it. So once again, no, this is not the question. You're saying over here, he touched the sheni, he became shelishi. That's the case. So that now we understand what's going on over here. We're talking about the shelishi. Over here, we said touch the second one. The third one is going to become tameh. That's what it's going to be. Basically, how do we know the Torah is talking about sheni?
It says, it explains it. The Torah, when Torah says tameh, it means sheni.
How do we know?
Because it says kol asher betocho yitameh. When sheretz falls into a kli, kol asher betocho yitameh. So the sheretz is ava tuma, the kli becomes rishon, and ma shebetocho becomes tameh, becomes sheni.
So we know anytime it's called tameh, we're talking about sheni. The explanation is like this. Again, explain what the Avi said. We have a barrel that made from clay, and you have a sheretz, which is of hatumah. The highest level of the tumah goes inside there, in the avir, in the opening of the keli, the clay. Then the keli becomes rishon. Then whatever food inside there is becomes sheni. So we see over here in the Torah, the sheni is called tameh. So therefore, when the Torah says that we said the pasuk v'habasar asher yiga bechol tameh, which means we're talking about the korban which touched something tameh, which is the second level. That's what we are saying over here.
So if it's called tameh, then it means third level?
No, tameh means davar tameh. Tameh means second level.
How do you say then what's the first level?
How do you call the first level? I don't know. Rishon? I don't know. That is a good question.
So how do you get it to that? Why isn't tameh the first level?
We have a pasuk somewhere else, which is Vayikra Yud Aleph Lamed Gimel. Over there, say Kol Asher Betocho. Anything itma. Okay. Okay. So over there, they learn that's going to be considered the sheni is going to be what they call it tameh. You have a good question. What they're going to do with if they want to call something the first rishon? What Torah calls it? I don't know. Very good question. Revi'i mikal v'chomer hada amaran. That's what we said from the kal v'chomer. There's such a level of the fourth level.
How do you get to kal v'chomer?
You see the kal v'chomer. You were here? Okay, so we go over it again. So we said that the kal v'chomer from the mechusar kippurim, the korban over there. You ask a question over there. What does mechusar kippurim mean? Remember?
So this pasuk והבשר אשר ייגע בכל טמא לא יאכל, it talks about
korban shelamim.
תרומה.
Huh?
תרומה של עמים?
It's korban shelamim, yeah. והבשר אשר ייגע בכל טמא לא יאכל, it's talking about the korban shelamim. Yeah.
But of course that if רביעי makes it טמא, of course that שני will make it.
No, the Torah talks about shelishi.
Now it explains
So
why
now
shlishi
we
is the
right.
Oraita
We
and
know
shlishi is
shelishi the oraita. Kal v'chomer is the kal v'chomer. Now, could say kal v'chomer also going to be the oraita. The oraita means over here that mefurash in the Torah. Kal v'chomer also could be dealt with it also minatorah. Okay, so that's basically the first part of today. Second part, we are holding by 10 lines from the bottom, middle of the line, behind the Mishnah, uve teruma im nitmet. So what was the case in the Mishnah? When it comes to the teruma, if one hand become tameh, okay, the other one doesn't become tameh. For kodesh, if one hand becomes tameh, you need to do tevilah. You have to take two hands to the mikveh. That's the chumrah. You are more careful when it comes to kodesh.
If you have in your hand, if you have in your hand one kelly, and then the other hand you have another kelly, and then the kelly in one hand becomes tama,
What? Teruma or kodesh?
tuma.
Only one hand became tameh. So only one hand
The
needs
hand
to go to.
became tama itself or the kelly?
The case is the hand became tameh. Okay? The teruma, if one hand becomes tameh, the other hand doesn't become tameh. Okay. Now we're gonna talk about this case. Amar Rav Shezvi bechiburin shanu. What is the talk over here? Aval shelo bechiburin lo. So what's the case that we say by teruma one hand becomes tameh, the other hand becomes tameh, or by kodesh one hand becomes tameh, the other hand becomes tameh too. So once you get chiburin, they're attached to each other. What do you mean they attach to each other? The hand which is tameh
touching the other one.
is touching the kodesh through the pure hand, tahora hand. What does it mean?
Now you touch the kodesh, this is pure, this is
So we have this hand is tameh, okay. This hand is tahor. I'm holding some meat, basar from the korban shelamim, and my hand touched this one. With the hand, the second hand becomes tameh. That's the case. But in a scenario that let's say this hand becomes tameh, this tahor, and I'm not holding anything. If I touch something, touch this hand doesn't become tameh. Right?
So if somebody becomes tama on his hand,
Huh?
on the other hand, if somebody becomes tama on his hand, then until you hold something, he can't become tama. His other hand can't become tama.
One more time. We're talking about kodesh or teruma?
Teruma.
We're not talking about teruma now.
basically you don't transfer the tuma unless you're holding the kodesh.
Right. The teruma.
But for the kodesh you don't need to touch, right?
No, the other way around. Actually, we say other way around. What's the case over here that it says that the kodesh from tuma goes to other hand? This hand becomes tameh. We say second hand is also tameh.
Right.
That's it. The Gemara is saying that's only if you're holding basar kodesh, then you touch, then it becomes tameh. But if you're not holding anything, just they touch each other, doesn't become tameh. That's what he's saying.
You can still touch the kodesh.
Right. Very interesting. Why you shouldn't become tameh? They're touching each other. Interesting. Okay, let's ask a question now. ATV. We ask a question. Abaye asked a question from Rav Shezvi. Okay? We learn in the Braita, Yad Neguva, Metame Chaverta. You have a dry hand, even though it's not wet, the hand, when it's gonna touch the second hand, it's gonna make the second hand Tameh. Okay? So what do you see over here? The hand touching each other make each other Tameh. That's one thing.
Is that possible?
Huh?
The question is, how is it possible?
So we said before, Rav Shezvi said that's only transfers if you're holding something Kodesh. Okay? So now, Letame la Kodesh, Avalo la Teruma. So now he says over there, he makes it for Kodesh, Avalo la Teruma, which means, this is the way it works like this. You have a hand is Sheni, the second level of Tuma. Touch the other hand, this one becomes Sheni also. No, becomes Sheni also. So now this hand only could make Kodesh Tameh and make it Shelishi. Am I right? How does it work?
Okay, basically what we said in the Mishnah.
Now what?
When one hand gets tameh, the other hand will get tameh only for Kodesh, but not for Tumah.
No, what he's saying over here, Letame la Kodesh. What does Letame la Kodesh mean?
Makes it tameh for Kodesh. Like you cannot touch Kodesh.
What? My hand is what? What's the level? What level of Tameh?
Dry hand is tameh.
Dry hand is Tameh. Very nice.
And then so it makes the other hand tameh.
But what level?
Here it says so the second hand renders Kodesh, that is touches tameh, the shalishi, which in turn can make other Kodesh already.
Okay, so basically it goes like this. The hand is second, okay? You touch the other hands becomes also Sheni. You touch the Kodesh becomes Shelishi. If you touch something Kodesh, something else, it's going to become Revi'i. But Teruma, this doesn't work. Why? When it comes to Teruma, one hand does not make the other hand Tameh at all. Diver Rabbi. Rabbi Yossi be Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rabbi Yossi, the son of Rabbi Yehuda, says that the hand is Tameh and make the other hand Tameh Shelishit, leave Sol, makes the Kodesh the other one, he makes it Revi'i. Avalo Letame, but doesn't make it Shelishi. I don't know what's the difference.
Shlishi can make another one.
Oh, Tameh means you could make something else Tameh. Pasul makes only itself is Tameh. You cannot make anything else Tameh anymore. So now what's Abaye asking from here on Rabbi Shezvi? Rab Shezvi. So it's not finished yet. I amrad bishlama, if you want to say from the Braita Shelu bechiburin, they are not touching each other. Hainu rebute dinguba. That's why it's the chidush learning over here. We're talking about dry hand. אלא אמרת בחיבורין, אין שלא בחיבורין לא, מהי רבותא דינגובה? Wow. This is called bumpy. היא אמרת בשלמם
It's kind of complicated, but also kind of understandable.
שלא בחיבורין, היינו רבותא דינגובה. אלא היא אמרת בחיבורין, אין שלא בחיבורין לא, מהי רבותא דינגובה?
If you say whenever they touch each other, then the fact that the hand is dry makes difference. Because if the hand is wet, then it's easy. But it makes the other hand also ugly. But the chidush here, that even if the hand is wet, is dry, it still makes the other hand second.
One more time.
If the hand, אם היד רטובה, המים שעל היד נהיים ראשון לטומאה, ואז היד השנייה נהיית שני, זה קל.
Okay.
אז הוא שואל מה החידוש בזה שהיד יבשה. אז החידוש שגם שהיד יבשה, היא עדיין עושה את היד השנייה שני לקודש.
Okay, what has to do with the chiburin, not chiburin? That's my question.
אז הוא אומר לו, אם שזה לא בחיבורים, אז אנחנו מבינים את החידוש של הברייתא הזאת שאומר על היד היבשה. אם אתה אומר שזה בחיבורים, אז החשש שלך זה שהיד הטמאה תיגע בבצק. אז מה זה משנה אם היא יבשה או לא יבשה? זה לא משנה. לא בבצק, תיגע בקודש. אביי אומר, הברייתא הזאת באה ואומרת ספציפי שהיד יבשה.
Okay.
למה הם היו צריכים לציין את זה שהיד יבשה?
Okay.
אומר, אם שלא בחיבורים, אני מבין למה הם היו צריכים להגיד שהיד לא יבשה. אחרת לא היית יודע שיד לא יבשה יכולה לעשות את היד השנייה טמאה גם, אם הם לא היו מחדשים את זה. אבל שבחיבורים, שהיד נוגעת ביד השנייה, החשש זה שהיד הטמאה תיגע בקודש. אז למה הם היו צריכים להגיד שהיא יבשה או רטובה, זה כבר לא משנה.
So Abaye wants to say from here, question on the Rav Shezvi, that Rav Shezvi says the whole thing in the Mishnah we're talking about chiburin. Chiburin means you're holding the Kodesh at the time one hand touched the other hand. That's what chiburin means. If you're not holding anything, it's not going to work. Abaye wants to say from this Braita, you're talking about the dry hand that makes the other hand tameh. What's the chidush over here? If you're talking about chiburin, if at that time he's holding the kodesh, which is the basar kodesh from the korban, what's the whole chidush? What's the whole thing? You're telling me it's dry, even doesn't matter it's dry or not. That's what you're saying. Either dry, not dry. We are chashash. We are worried that maybe it's gonna touch the kodesh because it's chiburin. Mai revuta dignuva. Wow. Itamar Nami, we have the same thing. Amar Shlakish, Lo Shanu, Ela Yado. Aval Yad Chavero Lo. So The Shtaki says, what Chachamim says, Yad, the hand, makes the other hand tameh. It's only it touches the other hand, but your hand, which is tameh, touch somebody other people's hands, it's not gonna make it tameh. Rabbi Yochanan Amar echad yado ve'echad yad chavero. Doesn't matter, your hand or somebody else's hand. Same thing, they're gonna become tameh. But interesting. Listen to this. Can blow your mind. It says, Rabbi Yochanan says, if you touch somebody else's hand, be'ota hayad. What?
I think, let's say now my hand is tameh.
Okay.
I touch Yonatan hand becomes tameh. He cannot make you tameh.
But can I make my other hand tameh?
Good question.
It has to be a known knowledge to whoever that is contaminated, that he is pretty much contaminating others, but most people are not aware of.
No, we don't have this halachot these days.
Sorry?
We don't have these these rules. We don't have it these days.
Exactly. If you're not conscious of.
Right. So it's very hard for us to understand because we are not used to it. You're right. You're 100% right. It's very hard to digest these concepts which we don't know. We are not so familiar to it. So Rabbi Yochanan Amar echad yado ve'echad yad chavero. It's gonna, doesn't matter, you touch your other hand or somebody else's hand, it's gonna become tameh. But how you make your friend's hand tameh? If your hand, which is tameh, you touch his hand, okay? But let's say this hand is tameh. The other person's hand is gonna become tameh, okay? But let's say this hand is tameh, I make this one tameh, now I touch somebody else, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Also, the main hand has to.
Right. That's Rabbi Yochanan saying.
This tameh hand, I can touch different people and make all of them tameh.
Go around and
But they cannot make another one.
But let's say when you.
But what about the second person? Can he transfer it
No,
to
yes, no. Because if that's tameh, this is now tameh, but this cannot make somebody else. So if this tameh I make you tameh,
So this cannot make my other hand.
Let's say.
But if I'm holding Kodesh, then he can.
Right.
Let's say he's holding Kodesh. Let's say he's holding Kodesh, and then he touches his hand, and his hand becomes tameh.
According to who are you talking?
Rabbi Yochanan.
Rabbi Yochanan is not talking about the holding, not holding.
So what is he talking about? He's talking about
Just touching. Just touching.
Kodesh.
Just touching, that's what he's talking about. Okay, let's finish the Rabbi Yochanan. Let's finish Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan added, when you touch the other hand, leaf sol. It's going to make it pasur. Avolol tameh. What does it mean? Which is the hand is tameh, which is shenia. It makes the other hand shelishi, the third one. Now, depends. The second hand is shelishi. The touch the kodesh becomes revi'i. Okay.
You have a
so now this one tameh, this one shlishi, and the kodesh pasul, but cannot make
Right,
somebody
right, right.
What do you do
Which-
with
But then if you touch the Kodesh, then.
No, so according to Rabbi Yochanan, when my hand is tameh, I touch this hand, this can become shelishi. Then I touch kodesh, the basar of the kodesh kodashim, which means the korban, that's become revi'i, the fourth one. but only becomes pasul, which means that meat, that basar, is not edible, but it doesn't make anything else tameh. That's what he's saying. Okay, now let's finish this Rabbi Yochanan. Or mimai, from where does Rabbi Yochanan know that you could make your hand of your friend tameh also? Midekatani sefa, in the sefa of the Mishnah, end of the Mishnah. Shahayad metama chaverta lakodesh avalo lateruma. The hand makes the other hand tameh for kodesh, but not for teruma. Ha tu lamali. What do you need this part? Ha tana le resha. We have in the resha. If you remember in resha, we learned the teruma. If you touch the other hand, it doesn't become tameh. But kodesh, you need both of them. They should go to mikveh. Elalav shemamina is coming to teach us le'etuye, to include that yad chavero, to hand of his friend. So Gemara added to this. Af Reish Lakish hadarbe. Reish Lakish also, he were chozer. He changed his mind, like Rabbi Yochanan. And Amar Rabbi Yona, Amar Rabbi Ami, Amar Reish Lakish, echad yado beechad yad chavero beota ayad, lipsol avalo letameh. Just like Rabbi Yochanan. So Reish Lakish also goes back on his words. In the beginning, Reish Lakish said, Lo shanu ela yado, his hand. Yad chavero lo, you cannot make the hand of these friends tameh. Now he changed his words. Reish Lakish is chozer, and he goes back to the status of the Rabbi Yochanan. So now we are holding by Be'ezrat Hashem tomorrow. We are holding by Velipsol avalo letameh. Which line is it? Second line, huh? Huh?
Somewhere in the middle.
Once again. Once. No, we don't finish it again. Okay. Let's do it tomorrow.
Okay, well, if this hand is taller and he has kodesh in his hand, and I touch his hand, now the kodesh still becomes possible, right?
Wait, say again.
You have kodesh in your hand.
Okay.
I touch that hand.
I have Kodesh in this hand.
No, this hand.
This one.
Right. So if I touch it, then the kodesh becomes.
That's no question. That's everyone holds that
But
way.
if you touch this hand,
Then if the kodesh is in the other hand, then the kodesh doesn't become possible.
No.
even if I touch.
That's actually.
Okay, let's go. Halachot Shabbat. Halachot Borer on Shabbat. We spoke yesterday. You started talking about avatiach. Avatiach means watermelon. Okay, you want to eat watermelon on Shabbat. There are we have avatiach. Then there was a question yesterday, but we said a lot of poskim they hold you're allowed to basically take out the seeds and eat the avatiach, the watermelon. There is no problem because that's derech achila. Of course, it should be done. Ben Ish Chai says just before you want to eat it. Now, when it comes to honeydew or cantaloupe, is different bargain. Over there, everyone agrees that's okay. You could take it off the seeds because seeds is not inside the fruit; it's on the fruit. So you could move it, and then you could eat it, no problem.
But you still have to take the fruit of it, right?
Huh?
Or you take the seed of it.
What do you mean? Can
Like
I?
if there's cantaloupe here and I take the seed,
Okay.
do I take the food or away to say that I'm taking the good out, or if I take the seed out,
I think either way is fine
why though?
because that's how you're gonna eat it. That's the way. That's just taking the kelipa, taking off the what do you call it?
Pistachio.
The shell of the pistachios. How do you eat it?
Yeah, you have to take out the shell, but for the cantaloupe.
Over here, you're not, how you gonna eat it? That's how you eat it. That's the derech achila. Once it's derech achila, that's no problem. Okay.
But also this you only do samuch la'achila.
Samuch la'achila, right. Unless you go with the Haravadia's pshat, that this is attached to it. When you take off the top, that's what you do. That's how we said before. Now, the next one, to move to the next level, you want to do sechitat limon. You want to squeeze lemon. Okay? So now, how do you squeeze lemon? That we're not talking about the halachot of sechita. Okay? That's different halakha. Can you juice lemon on Shabbat or not? We're not talking about that part. Okay? That's a different question. Huh? That's okay. So I guess I have to talk about it. Is a machloket between Ben Ish Chai and Harav Ovadia, between Shulchan Aruch and other poskim. Are you allowed to squeeze lemon on Shabbat?
The squeezing itself.
Right.
No, I asked if you can squeeze it with your hand so you catch.
What's the difference? Your hand or the cup?
So you catch the seeds.
Once again, you're talking about borel. You're talking about sechita. But according to Ben Ish Chai, you cannot do squeezing your hand. According to Ben Ish Chai and others, no, because of this, that you cannot. Can I take a juice out from grapes on Shabbat? No. Juicing on Shabbat is asur. The question on the lemon: can I juice a lemon on Shabbat or not?
If it's to enhance the food.
Huh? What is it?
If it's enhancing the food.
Okay, enhancing the food. Again, did I say on the food? You added that word part to it.
No, I'm saying
You have a cup. You have a cup. You have a cup. Empty cup. You want to squeeze lemon inside it. According to Ben Ish Chai is asur. The Harav Ovadia is okay. That's regardless of the
According to Harav Ovadia, can you squeeze grapes?
Huh? No. Okay, so we're not talking about that right there. That's what I'm saying. You're going and squeezing that. According to Ben Ish Chai and others, you only could squeeze lemon on the food. Okay? On the salad, on your fish, whatever you're doing.
But you cannot catch the seeds.
Nah,
That's
we're talking squeezing one question, border is different question. Okay? Let's say you squeeze a lemon on the salad. Okay? That's you could do it, I can't do everybody. Okay? Now, on sukkar is a food. Sugar is food. So on the food you'll be fine, according to Ben Ish Chai. Okay, that's the thing. A lot of poskim they hold, even according to Shulchan Aruch, is going to be asur these days. But Shulchan Aruch says only those days. These days is asur. Okay, so it's the whole machloket over there. So what do you do? How you do it? So now, it's the lemon thingy is going to be a little bit complicated. But first of all, it says you want to eat apple, okay? Or shezifim. What is shezifim? Huh? What is it? Plum? Okay, plum. You want to eat the plum or the apple? You have this piece of stick coming out from the top. Can you take it off or not? Huh? On Shabbat. Yes, stem, right, exactly. Chazak Baruch. Can you do it or not? Is it necessary to take it off or not? So some they say, according to Harav Ben Sion, down the top, at the time you want to eat it, is mutar. That's how you eat it. Usually what people do, they take them and stem out and eat it, no problem. But there are others, Harav Ovadia Yosef, that it says, "Hamachmir al asmo shelo leosi et ha'hokes kelal or leosi beofen she'aperi nishar beyado tava ala bracha." So Harav Ovadia Yosef says, either it's better, it doesn't say asur, it's better to do it in a way that either you don't do it, or if you do it, you take as you said, the fruit out and take the fruit. So this way, you are not taking a bad from the good. You're taking the good from the bad. That's what you do. Now, for the lemon part, I'm going to go back to it a little bit. I don't know how much I do it or not. What they want to do, some people, they want to do, there's a reshet, like a sifter they want to use on Shabbat. So to squeeze the lemon, they hold it on the fish. You put the lemon on the top and the juice comes out. Can you do this on Shabbat? You cannot do it on Shabbat. Because you don't want the seeds of the lemon goes on your fish on Shabbat. Of course it's asur. Why? You're doing borer bakeli. This is a keli, this is a vessel you use to do borer. Okay? This reshet, this sifter you have, which is basically doesn't let the seeds of the lemon goes down, is going to be asur. One of the things we said about the borer, which is going to be asur, you cannot use a keli, a vessel, to sift, to basically take away the bad things or the good things, doesn't matter. You cannot use a keli. So over here also, you cannot do it. Okay?
The keli is not for season, it's a fork.
Okay, that's very nice. I don't know how you do with the fork. I don't know how you do with the fork. There is no way to with the fork. Okay.
Let's just
Okay.
do something that is not a secret, like catch the.
Huh?
Yeah, with the hand. But I don't know with the hand because.
But the seed comes down.
The seed.
It's impossible. I don't. It's very impossible. The next thing, Be'ez Hashem, Jonathan. I just want to finish with you. You're gonna finish this tomorrow. That's his question. Is gonna be the next case. You want to put in your palm, like this. You're squeezing your hand. Forget the halachot of sechitana. Okay. Okay. Sechita part. The halach horavadi is asur. Achar to harabeshcha is asur. Huh?
What are you gonna do with the seed?
According to Harabadi, you could. According to Benishcha, you should be on the food. According to Harabadi, you could squeeze the lemon inside the cup, no problem. So we're gonna see Be'ez Hashem this tomorrow.